In this segment, we're going to talk about grand spiral galaxies and flocculent spiral galaxies and the differences between the two. A grand design spiral galaxy is a galaxy with a high contrast, simple, two-arm spiral pattern. Let's look at some examples. M51 is a simple two-arm spiral pattern galaxy, so it's a grand design galaxy. It is commonly known as the whirlpool galaxy. As you can see, we see two spiral arms spiraling out from their centers. Two major spiral arms, and you can see there's a high contrast. So you see blue regions in between these very distinct arms. So it's a very simple pattern. Another example is M100. The number and the name is in the corner of the diagram, the graph, the figure, the image. M100 is one of the first spiral galaxies to be discovered. It was discovered in 1781. It too is a grand design spiral galaxy. It has a high contrast, simple two-arm spiral pattern. It looks very familiar with galaxy M51 or the whirlpool galaxy. In between the blue spiral arms, we see mostly black space in between. Hence, we have two distinct spiral arms. Now, how is this grand design galaxy different from a flocculent spiral galaxy? A flocculent spiral galaxy is a galaxy that has many short spiral segments, giving them a fluffy appearance. The word flocculent means woolly. So these galaxies looked fluffy or woolly. Let's look at an example. So here we have NGC 300. This is the name of the galaxy, and it's in the corner of the image, NGC 300. And notice that we don't really see two distinct spiral arms. We see maybe an arm over here, and then we see one here, and looks like several coming out this way, maybe one that way. So we have a lot of these short segments, and they're in this spiral shape. And so it gives this whole object looking more of a fluffy or woolly appearance. So the difference between a flocculent and a grand design is that the flocculent doesn't have two very distinct spiral arms. What about the Milky Way galaxy? Is the Milky Way galaxy a grand design galaxy, or is the Milky Way galaxy a flocculent galaxy? Here's what the Milky Way galaxy looks like in images, and we're looking in the top diagram, we're looking in the near infrared. And so basically we are looking at the galaxy edge on, and we are looking at the dust in the galaxy. So we are looking edge on, and we see basically a line, which is the disk of the galaxy, and we see a central bulge region. In the bottom image, we are looking at the Milky Way galaxy edge on, and we are looking at in far infrared light. Near infrared means it's closer to the visible wavelengths. Far infrared means it's further away from the visible wavelengths of light. Now the light that was able to scatter off and pass through by the dust in the near infrared, so it just made it through past the dust, is now being scattered in the far infrared. So we see a lot more scattering in the image. So in the far infrared, we are looking at all this glowing dust. The cooler dust is glowing this red color, and the hotter dust is going to be this whitish color that's along this galactic plane, or the edge on of the disk. So if you were to rotate the spiral galaxy such that you could only see the edge of it, then this is what you would see in these images, just the edge. We only see the rim. So whereas most of the light gets past the dust in the near infrared, the light gets scattered by the dust in the far infrared. So on the right is a cartoon image of the Milky Way galaxy. And at the top you see the face-on view of the Milky Way galaxy. And then if you were to rotate that 90 degrees, you would get the edge-on view, which is shown in the bottom half of the cartoon diagram. and the bottom half matches up nicely with what we see in images in the near infrared and far infrared. So if we look at our best cartoon diagram of the Milky Way galaxy, we can see that we don't have two very distinct spiral arms. We have these spurs and branches. So here we might have a branch, and then here we have a piece coming off of an arm. We call that a spur. But notice we also have some very distinct spirals, but there's not two distinct spirals. So we're not quite a flocculent and we're not quite a grand design. We're something in between.